Happy Wednesday, everyone! Oh, it's been a while. We took a little summer break, which was much, much, much needed. And we are back with a killer guest. I am so, so, so excited. We'll get into it in a second. But hello, everyone. I'm Ashley Connell, CEO and founder of Prowess Project. What we do at Prowess is we help people train to be online business managers, and then we match them up with their ideal clients, these visionary CEO leaders who have big, big dreams, but they need their right-hand person to make it all happen. I love the back and forth. So put into comments, here's your starter question. Put into comments, what is the next trip on your bucket list? Put into comments, what is the next trip on your bucket list? Can't wait. On my Iceland. Ooh, that's a good one. Utah. I desperately want to go to Japan. Oh, Justine, see you there, sister. Paris, love it. Morocco. Oh my God. Hawaii, amazing. Y'all, this is so good. Moving from California to Arizona, Sandy, very cool. Oh, love these. Love these, love these, love these. Well, diving into the star of our show today, I am so excited to introduce this woman who has changed my life and the lives of so many female entrepreneurs with the work that she does. So, for many of you who don't know, a couple lives ago, I helped build the largest community for IT professionals in the world. So, I was one of the top people who helped do that. And so I feel like I can kind of talk about community and what makes one sticky and what's in how others can just be a label, right? And this woman has put her all into building out a community for 6, 7, and 8-figure female entrepreneurs. And it is one of the only places where I feel like you can show up and there are hundreds of people with you who will definitely talk to you about the brass tacks of your business, but then will absolutely talk to you about the shit show that's going on in your life. And I think that that is so incredibly rare. And so with that, I am so excited to introduce you to Meghann Conter. Hello.
Hi, I love how your introduction introduced me as a shit show. It's great. I'm just kidding.
Well, walks like a duck. Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Takes one to know one. But it's true, It's so true. We can either lie and say that everything is hunky dory and unicorn farts and rainbows, or we can actually be truthful and say, yeah, business as a woman is very different. It's just different.
That's right. And I'm in
other women like you, like I've got a kid, a little teeny baby I got to bring with me to places. And like, this is my reality. And my reality is different today than it was 6 months ago or a year ago. And I got to roll with it.
So that's right. And there's a lot of other organizations that I've either been in or are currently in, and I'm the only woman in the room. So no one can relate. And it's tough. It can be
and it makes I experienced was it made me feel like I was and I don't know how much we can swear on this show, so I'm just trying to gauge that. Okay. How much of a fuck up I feel like, because I don't want to burn myself out. I don't want to run myself into the ground. I don't want to hustle, grind, and, put on more warrior outfit, costume, whatever, and just trudge through and work 24/7. And no, that is not what I want to do. And that's what I frequently felt like I was a fuck up when I was in rooms with other men and women all in one homogenous zone of like, hey, here's $1 million business owner. Here you are, you didn't even make $50,000 this year yet. And here's another, trillion-dollar business owner, and you guys are all going to come together and you're going to just do this. And I'm like, this is the most inefficient and ridiculous thing for my nervous system that exists. So that's another reason why the Dames exists, is because I felt constantly crappy. And like,
wow.
I was never going to make it. And I didn't want to do it the way that the old boys club had been doing it for centuries. And all the business books that I read were written by men. In the last 5 years, so when I started the Dames, it was 10 years ago, but in the last 5 years, thank God, there have been some business books written by women that are awesome. Like We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers. And, also a minority woman, thank God. So it's changing, but I really feel like the Dames is writing the next big book, the best book on how to grow a 7-figure company while balancing your masculine and feminine energy.
Ooh, I love this. Okay, take a quick pause on that. Give us the background. How did you tell us about your career journey and how you got to where you are today? We talked about the problem that you're trying to solve, which I love. And then we'll talk exactly what Dames is and who it's for.
Sure. So it's really not interesting to hear about my corporate career outside of college, except for the fact that I became I continued my binge drinking that I learned in college, and I was miserable. And I thought, man, if this is going to be my professional life, 40 hours plus a week, I'm not going to make it on this planet for very long. So when I started my first business in 2009, yes, 2009, it was in social media. Because why wouldn't I want to start my business in an industry nobody knew about as a brand new business owner that I knew nothing about being a business owner in 2009? Why not? So jokingly, if I got through that, my ramen years, I can get through anything, honestly. So yeah. So I had a marketing company until 2019 when I closed that. And as I was helping women-owned businesses grow and scale past their first 6 figures into high 6 figures and 7 figures through their marketing and branding, I also was networking like a crazy fool, very inefficiently, just business card stacking and receiving business card lacerations from everyone stabbing me at networking events, and just being surrounded by all the great Mary Kay salespeople and dudes trying to sell me their whatever quack insurance or blah, blah, blah. And I found myself struggling to be able to grow my business with the way that women need to grow our businesses. And I also am a big fan of fun, and I'm a big fan of entertainment. So sitting at a networking event watching grass grow or paint dry was not my idea of a good time. So that was the other reason that I was like, ugh, we need something different. And trying to find other women, especially at the 7-figure mark and beyond in Denver, like they ran for the hills because all the networking was homogenous, and they're in there with all these people that are just constantly trying to pick their brains and not giving them value. And so I was like, you know why? It's because we don't have a place for those of us who've been past the initial stages of business to come together and talk about our challenges, solve those problems, celebrate our wins, etc. So we started out as having local events here in Denver and continued to grow and outgrow our spaces. And then in 2017, I was like, okay, I'm really struggling with my marketing business because it's one-on-one. I can only have 10 clients at once. It's a lot of time every week. It's like I barely ever have time for business development or anything else that comes along with running my business. So I'm working until 10 o'clock at night trying to get the delivery notes to my clients and do my accounting and bookkeeping and do this and do that. And of course I'm outsourcing where I can, but I had this epiphany like, oh, these Dames events are doing really well. And these women are craving having community of like-minded women at their 6, 7, and 8-figure levels. And all we're doing right now is events. But I see an international community because this is a challenge that every single woman who's a business owner on the planet who's gotten to this level of sustainability faces. So I had a big vision at that time in meditation of an international online community of women that support each other, that collaborate with each other, that get to know each other super well and start to cross refer to each other. We start to help solve problems, celebrate wins. We collaborate to create new offerings. We do all of these things, and we get each other because we're at similar stages of business. And so I, in 2017, built our online membership community and started expanding it to members around the globe. In 2018, we started growing chapters in Colorado and other states. Our awesome international shit show called The Pandemic happened, and I am very grateful to say that because I had been tapping into my own intuition, I had already built this online community. So I just closed my marketing business, which was the plan anyways, and went full bore, full-time dames. And we 3X'd that year and we 2X'd the next year because we already had the solutions. We already were online. We already could very easily take ourselves out of being in person. And then we could very easily put ourselves back into being in person in 2021. So since, oh, you froze. I wasn't sure if I was frozen.
Yeah, it may glitch where I am.
It's all good.
Just keep on keeping on.
Perfect. At that point, really what we have grown into since the pandemic is this international business accelerator for women running and growing their 6, 7, and 8-figure companies without losing out on ourselves. So it is truly a place where women can have their think tank circle masterminds at the 250K, 500K, 7-figure, 8-figure levels, and where women can come together to network and collaborate, where women can be strategically matched with their potential power partners, where women can come together in many other ways to really support and uplift each other by creating collaborations. And we have even bigger plans for growth and expansion with our 7 chapters currently in the US. And I definitely see us being able to really help women in other countries, on other continents in a much bigger way, in a physical, in-person way, more so than we are doing now virtually. So yeah, we've come a long way, and it's definitely come with its challenges and its hard knocks, but it's also the perfect, when I started out this story saying that my corporate life was a shit show, I felt as soon as I started my own business, like I had found the right skis, the right boots, the right slope, and I was headed in the right direction. I'm a skier. So, that's really what happened. And I'm sure that there are many listening to this who know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, yes, entrepreneurship is my jam. I just have to get into the right business model. So that was the biggest lesson I learned, was moving from my marketing business to the dames, is that model was really tough for me, one-on-one. I have a big mission to influence millions of women, and it's really hard to do that 10 people at a time. So now it's still a challenge, the model that I chose, memberships, but it's definitely easier to make a bigger impact.
Without a doubt. I can relate to everything that you're saying because I have, like I said at the beginning, have run a membership company before, and it's a lot. But I want to talk about something that you said a couple times: balancing your feminine and masculine energy. Can you talk to us about that, and also what feminine leadership means? Because I feel like that is what you are pinpointing and really celebrating with the dames.
Yes, and see that live yes and up there? I'm an improviser. So I see the comments. I see the people who are listening to us. I bet you have some really savvy listeners. What do they think is feminine leadership? So type that in while we're talking, because I think it's fun to hear what other people think. So for me, idea. What I've experienced is, again, I said it, when we are growing our businesses in the early stages, we're often following the models of men. Couple differences that are very known, but not practiced and used by very many women. Our entire society, our Western society, is on a 24-hour schedule. That is the way that a male's physiology works. It's on a 24-hour schedule. Women are on a 28-day schedule. Even when we are no longer menstruating, we are on a 28-day schedule in alignment with the moon. So when we approach business as if we have the same amount of energy on a Tuesday morning every single day, and if we're expected to have the same amount of energy any Thursday, I remember one of my things that my last boss said to me was, you just need to plan the days when you're going to be creative. And then every Wednesday at 3 p.m., you're going to do all the creative stuff. And I'm like, you don't know a damn thing about women, do you? So there's a fundamental difference, right? So if we function based on a 24-hour calendar, we are inherently functioning not in accordance to having a woman's physiology. So I have done a lot of work and I have worked really hard to operate my month in my 4 different cycles. And I have certain meetings that I do in certain phases of that cycle. So that is one thing that has dramatically helped me. And another one is like really understanding what my circadian rhythm is. That's not something that's masculine or feminine, but all of those things are like the fundamentals. Plus I need to work out first thing in the morning. I eat a certain diet. I'm very in tune with my body. And I make most of my business decisions based on my intuition and what my body is telling me, which means I need to clear out a lot of space and a lot of time to hear my intuition, which is a receiving energy as a woman. Men typically jump into action right away. And when we are in our masculine energy, we are jumping into action. So that probably looks like a lot of us have experienced, where the first thing we do when we wake up is check our email. Or the first thing that we do is we enter into the external world, which is a penetrating energy, which is masculine, versus a receiving energy or a going within energy, which is feminine. So women function typically better if we go inward first, and if we can do our prayer or our meditation practice or whatever it is first thing when we wake up. We listen to our body and we listen to our own knowing of, okay, what are the 3 things that I really want to accomplish today? And then what is the energy that I am in today? Like, what phase of my cycle am I in? And what is my energy like today? And what are some things that I need to do to set myself up for success? No longer do I look at my calendar every week and say, okay, I got to figure out how I'm going to do all this. I look at it and I say, well, I did a pretty good job planning my week out, but I'm going to implode if I do all these meetings. Is there anywhere where I can create space? And my calendar is blocked out for months according to my cycle and according to, like, I have non-negotiables. I do not start working or doing meetings before 10 a.m., period. So there's a lot of these things that I've had to learn by burning myself out, by overdrive and over penetration, over action, over masculine energy, that I've had to really understand that, like, spaciousness, for instance, is a feminine energy. And having that space in our calendars to think, to be creative, to enter into the unknown, to get on a phone with Ashley, on the phone with Ashley and say, Ashley, I want to brainstorm something with you. That is very feminine energy. And if we don't have that yin and yang balancing our feminine and masculine energy, we tend to go with what the men have always told us, which is what is in all the business books. And then we feel wrong because we have burnt out, or we've gotten into total overwhelm, and we're sick and we're panicking, and we don't have any time with our kids, if you have kids, or we don't have time, we quote unquote don't have time for a workout, or we don't have time to make food, or we it's not that we don't have time, it's that we're operating on someone else's schedule. It's that we're operating on the schedule that someone else told us we needed to have.
It's so true. So,
Yeah.
so this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing specifically feminine energy, like different behaviors, or I'm gonna call them actions, just so people can take it and say, okay, here are some things that I can do to better be in my feminine energy. Let's see how this feels. So you said spaciousness. You said really collaboration in the brainstorming. And you said really looking at your entire business rhythm in 28 days. And I really like that. So we're talking a lot about leadership this month.
Yes.
What are some leadership traits that you have seen, either that you embody or you've seen within? I mean, you lead leaders. So right. Tell us some of those traits that you see that are really powerful, and like bonus points if they're ones that are unassuming.
Yep. I do want to point out the brilliant comments in the chat too, that a lot of feminine is things like leading with heart and emotion along with being rational. That's that yin and yang balance. Intuition is very feminine. Allowing for the pause and not following the hustle is very feminine. And celebrating being a woman in business, following the gifts and talents that we have without worrying about what others think. That one is a big one, Sandy. Holy buckets. Be careful of anybody that comes to you with a prescribed methodology or a cookie cutter approach to anything, because to answer your question, Ashley, feminine leadership traits, the number one that I exhibit and continuously do, and I've seen others do well, is by knowing thyself. What do I mean by that? I have studied Enneagram, Myers-Briggs, StrengthsFinder, Human Design, Gene Keys, DISC, and many others about myself and about all my team and about my dames for years. It's been like 7 or 8 years that I've been studying these things. And what that means is that when you look at yourself and you say, man, why did I get so tired this week? Or why was I so emotionally reactive to this? And then I look and I'm like, well, shoot, I'm a projector in human design. I'm an Enneagram 7, and all I've been doing is slave driving myself. I've been doing the same things on repeat every day for the last week. No wonder I'm burnt out. I need variety in my life. I need spaciousness in my life. And then I need concentrated, get stuff done 3-hour blocks of time in order for myself to work well. And only by knowing myself can I do those things, and can I see where I'm over functioning in my masculine and under functioning in my feminine. But then I also have to know what does it look like when Meghann functions in masculine or in feminine, and then make sure that I'm balancing those two things. So that is what good leaders do, good female leaders do, is we actually know ourselves, and then we live according to what we know about ourselves, not in accordance to what somebody else's model is. Another thing that I see as a really valuable feminine trait as a female leader is being vulnerable and sharing what's going on with you, and not putting on more armor or putting on a mask or putting on a face or saving face or whatever. If you're going to cry, cry. If you're going to snot cry, snot cry. Maybe have Kleenex with you at all times like I do. But really, there is nothing worse for most women. Now this is a thing for, I'm going to say it this way. There's nothing worse for women functioning in their divine feminine than to think that they are messed up because the people around them, especially the leaders, have everything together, in quotations, never show any faults, in quotations, never have a breakdown, in quotations, because then when they have that moment themselves and they're in their feminine, or they're in a certain part of their cycle, or they're whatever, they feel like a fuck up. And they're like, they compare themselves to others. That's just what happens, right? We women, joy, comparison is the thief of all joy, but women do it way worse than men.
Yep.
And so we look around ourselves, and if we don't see someone who's leading the cause that is being willing to share her struggles and her wins, that's another one, sharing your wins, then we're not good leaders. The other thing is, feminine leadership trait is to actually stop and celebrate what you've done and to stabilize where you're at. Something that is a very masculine trait or very unregulated, dysregulated nervous system is to hit the goal and keep running. Because when the tiger is chasing us, that's when we know we feel productive, we feel whatever, but all that is a dysregulated nervous system and an overdrive of your masculine energy.
This is fascinating. So first, completely agree on the vulnerability. And I want to pause here for a second. And if y'all have questions, I say this every week, I have a bazillion questions for Meghann, but if y'all do, I absolutely want to hear them. But I want to go back to vulnerability. That has been, bar none, one of the best tools in my toolbox when it comes to leadership. And yep. I could not agree with you more that for so long, I thought that as the leader, I needed to have my shit together, or else everyone would crumble and everyone would panic and leave the business, because that's what we were told in corporate. Yep. And because in corporate, if it was a big Fortune 500, your stock would tank if people didn't have confidence in you. And yep. It has been so freeing being able to say to my team, our team, hey, today's a bad day. I dropped my daughter off at daycare for the first time. The other one is sick. I'm having a tough day because of X, Y, and Z. And the response I get, instead of people getting scared, the response is, we got you. And yep. I do the exact same for them. And it yep. has been so incredibly freeing. So I'm really glad that you brought that up. Really, really glad.
And let me just say something to that, because that is brilliant. In the balance between the masculine and the feminine, you also have processes in place, because you know that structure equals freedom. So you have balanced by having the masculine energy and creating the structure and the processes, so yep. that when you need to be more in your feminine, or when you're in a different stage or phase and you're more feminine and you're more emotional,
sure,
you're okay. You set yourself up so that you're supported.
Meghann, you just nailed the value proposition for our online business managers. Absolutely. And our matching algorithm.
1000%.
Because we see the power imbalance between the structure and the people skills, emotional intelligence. You got to have both.
Yep.
You got to have both.
I just get goosebumps everywhere. So true.
Yeah. And we have seen that for years. And yep. Again, being vulnerable, Leah and I sat down 6 years ago and were like, this is the problem. This is how we're going to solve it. And no one understood. People didn't get it. People did not get it. And it's, again, why I'm so attracted to you and the community that you built, is because you do understand, you see the value, and you know that the way forward is balancing both those energies. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Absolutely. Truly. And that's it. This is what it takes for women as well. If we are going to pioneer in our industries and to not be the same as our predecessors have been, is to trust that when we have an idea or we have something that is so big, even though it's for the future, we got to do it. When it's so loud and it's like, my intuition is screaming at me like it was in 2017, you've got to build an online membership. And I'm like, and it's got to be for 6- and 7-figure women. I'm like, who has that? Well, guess what? We were the only one, and we're still the only one. We're still the only women's business accelerator for women running 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. Everybody else who tried to copy, gone. They didn't have the longevity because they don't have the understanding of these concepts of masculine and feminine balance, as well as what are the unique challenges that we face at the 6, 7, and 8 figure levels. Anyways, that's another topic for another day.
Yeah. Oh, God, I mean, that is a whole other thing. But so, as a reminder, everyone who is listening here are these brilliant ops people, these brilliant business management. They do love structure, yet have that feminine energy. So what I want to know, because you lead so many leaders who typically are the visionary, big personalities, love relationships, and need that structure built around them, not a structure that they then have to go into. What are some challenges that you're seeing these leaders have, just in general?
There is, oh man, where do you want, like, can you niche down to like an area?
Sure. So I want to know for businesses who are around 250.
Yep.
What are some of the challenges that come with that either revenue number or let's just say someone just hit over 250, because we say you need an OBM at 250 for sure.
Yep. Okay, perfect. So at the $250,000 mark, you are definitely at that place where your proof of concept is there. It's working. You have staying power, right? You're not really at that point where it's like one bad month is going to kick you back down below 6 figures. So awesome. You've already done a lot of, good work up to this point. Now, a lot of times what actually happens at this level is, okay, who do I hire? How do I hire? When do I hire? And then how do I get the right person? So a big challenge is they try once and then they give up. So like I hired a VA and they weren't the right fit. So I just like VAs don't work. Or I have processes. And then my next question is, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, if I'm just going to say something funny. If I came and abducted you in the middle of the night to take you to Hawaii, on a scale of 1 to 10, what level would your people be able to go in and take over your role? Like what percentage of assuredness? 40%, 20%, 80%? Most of them are at that level, at that 250K level, if they're a solopreneur or someone who's running with a small contractor team, where a lot of it is in their head. So that's a huge problem. That's a huge challenge because they're like, well, I don't know how to get it out of my head. I'm a visionary. I'm not one who can easily create processes. Correct. You're not. Hence why you need to have an OBM come in and do that for you. Or, maybe they are at the point where they're starting to experience some cash flow challenges because the way that they collected money worked for them at 100K, but it's not working at 250K. So you got to start looking at things like cash flow management. You got to look at things like budgeting. Something that I see often is making decisions based on what's in the bank account as opposed to what's in the budget. So, oops. Yeah, oops. Like I had $10,000 in the bank account, so I thought I could do $5,000, this $5,000 program that I really wanted to do, shiny object syndrome, or I'm like, I'm a visionary, so I'm excited to do these things. But then next month, or 2 months down the line, I had these huge bills that hit that I forgot about because I didn't look at my budget or I didn't have a budget.
So then what happens at 500? What's that change?
Yeah. So at 500, you start dealing with a lot of the, everything that's coming in is going out. So I need a bigger team, but currently my team is fully allocated and, I'm doing the best that I can. I have an org chart and I know where I need to hire next, but I need to have better margins and I need to have more revenue in order to hire that next person. And oftentimes they haven't yet done a plan for, okay, where am I headed next? I'm headed to multiple millions. Well, what's my team going to need to look at that stage? and they haven't started creating a process or a plan for how they're going to start adding the right people. We also, as women, we have a challenge of keeping people who may not be the best fits on our teams for too long because we're emotionally invested and connected to them. That's another problem that I see in our think tank circles. Of course, it's still the cash flow and the budgeting issues.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens at that level too. It continues to happen all the time.
Forever. Yeah.
Correct. Something else that I do and I recommend is that you hire people who are experts in their fields to help you with certain things. So if you want an OBM and you're currently at a stage where you have had a really hard time operationalizing your business, hire an OBM that has more operations experience, and Ashley's software matches you up with them. Or, if you're really at a point where you're struggling with cash flow management, I don't know that you have OBMs that have like certifications as CFOs or anything like that, but that's where you would want to hire a CFO that can at least come in and help you on a quarterly basis or whatever the case may be. So it's about you become more niched in what you need help with than when you're below 250 or even below 500K. You start realizing, oh, I'm not doing so hot in this area of business, or, I need to really amp it up over here. You also start really thinking about how to automate the things that you can automate so that you can have your power of your people doing the things that require a human in the middle. So those are some other things that you'll face.
Love it. Okay. And that was such good validation.
Yeah, totally.
So we asked this question to everyone. So I'm sure there are 20 people who are listening now who are like, I would love to work with Meghann. What are some of the challenges that you have in your business at the stage that you're at right now when it comes to operations?
Thank you. I was like, when it comes to what? Operations would be, again, what I said, which is I only have so many people and so much budget. So when another project comes along, how do we have that project happen? I'm a visionary. I have about 1 million ideas a day. And so I have gotten really good at putting those ideas into a project in Monday.com that is a future project. Knowing myself, I ask myself, is this energetically a now or a later project? Is the market ready for it? Is my team ready for it, etc.? So a lot of it is tabling my ideas. I used to call it constipating my ideas, but then I started feeling backed up. So I just release the pressure valve and put it in someplace else. We have documented processes and we're consistently revising them. We have great VA teams who follow the processes, and so they get revised on a consistent basis there. But there are definitely processes, let's say for the higher up people, that need to be revamped, need to be created. So that's a challenge, that there's always new processes that need to be created or modified.
Yeah.
So that they're optimized. So that if somebody did get sick or had to leave or had to go on extended leave or anything like that, we wouldn't be up a creek without a paddle. So I would say those are the biggest people and process challenges.
Makes sense. Well, I can't believe we're already out of time. This has been awesome. And I'm so grateful for it because I wasn't expecting to go this route with the feminine and masculine energy, but I'm so glad we did. That's something that we haven't talked about before with this audience. And I'm so grateful. So thank you for allowing us to do that.
Awesome.
So if there was one thing that you wanted to leave this group of OBMs with, just about business, about life, about being a woman business owner, anything, what would you leave them with?
Honor yourself, know yourself, honor yourself. And anytime you think you can't do something, there's probably a systemic problem that is telling you you need to do it a certain way. So give yourself some time to go within and say, okay, as the wisest, most brilliant, balanced, masculine, feminine, energetic being that I could possibly be, what would I tell myself about this situation? Or go to someone who's a peer of yours at a very similar level and have them ask you questions so that you can process the solution yourself, because a lot of what you need is already within you. So keep that in mind. You're a wise woman, and you need to remember that. And don't give your power away to anybody else.
Preach, preach, preach.
So that was
preach.
probably like 7 different messages, because I don't
love it. Even better bonuses. Where can everyone find you, Meghann?
If you want to follow me or connect with me, it's at Meghann Conter, and that'll probably be in some show notes somewhere, because it's Meghann Conter is how you spell my name. Or at the Dames Co. is where you can find the Dames online. And if you are a woman running a 6, 7, or 8-figure business, looking for a business accelerator that knows you, check out thedames.co/video, and you'll learn more about us.
Love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And everyone, thanks for tuning in today. I mean, just truly amazing. I'm so grateful for you, Meghann. Like I said, it was something that
Ashley,
I really needed to hear. So
awesome.
I needed to hear it. I think everyone else did too. So thank you. And then everyone who's watching, we will be here next week. We do have our masterclass coming up on August 18th. So definitely check that out. And if you want to chat with us, free 15 minutes of like, hey, is this OBM thing really for me? Could I do this? I'm really into this feminine, masculine energy, structured, all the things, spaciousness. Please reach out and we would love to talk to you. I'll put the link in chat now.
Ashley, what's the masterclass? Quick.
Ooh, girl. So we do the OBM opportunity. Oftentimes women they know that they have so much more to give. They have so much more impact to give. They have a patchwork quilt-like background. Some HR, some sales, some ops, some tech. And they're like, how the heck do I start either a business or a career doing this? And that's exactly what we show you what to do.
Bueno, that's awesome. I want to share it.
Yes. Awesome. All right.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. You ladies are awesome.